Chatters, chatties, welcome home for a Great American Chat, a podcast where we chat about great American media. I'm Chad Maurice, and back with me today is Nicole from the Swing My Heart podcast YouTube channel. Nicole, welcome.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me back, Chad.
Now, you are currently on the road, right? You're out of town right now, right?
I'm at my grandmother's, yes.
You're at your grandmother's, yeah. So I
Yes,
thank you for taking the time out of your family visit there to do
of
this with
course.
me.
Of course.
Now this is your third time here. Well, I
I
got to get the
think
chat up
so,
here. Wait a
yeah.
minute. I got to get the chat up here in case anybody says anything. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is your third time here. The first time you were here, we recapped the Christmas movie, A Merry Christmas Wish, the one with
Yes, we
Joel
did.
Wagner and Cameron Matheson.
Matheson, yes.
And I got to let you know that's up to 13,000 views on YouTube.
That's awesome. What was the other one? I feel like there was one before that.
Then we did didn't we do the recap of the Christmas movies after that?
Yeah, that was on mine, though. Yeah. I just meant like on here, you said it was 3 times
Yeah, no, this
on
is
your
your third
podcast.
time. This is your third time today. Yeah, we did
Oh,
a
okay.
Christmas
Yeah.
movie recap too, also on mine,
Yes, we
on
did.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That was fun.
All right, so this month on Great American Family, they're doing 2 movies a week, one on
Yeah.
Saturday and one on Mondays. This
Mhm. I
past
missed.
Saturday, they premiered Romance at the Vineyard with Susie Abromite and Tim Ross, which is
Yeah.
also re-airing tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern on Great American Family. Were you able to see any of that movie?
I have not, but I did record it. So, but I might try to catch
Okay.
it tonight instead.
All right. All right. And then last night, they previewed Love on Repeat with Jen Lilly and
Yep,
Andrew Lawrence,
I missed that
which you
one.
can stream. Would you missed that one too?
Yeah,
All
we
right. And
we were on the
that one
way.
you were on the way. Oh, that's right, because you drove up
Yeah,
last night.
yeah.
And that one can be streamed on Pure
Mhm.
Flix
Yeah.
right now. All right. Today we are chatting about. Let me get my picture up here. All right, let me do some rearranging here. Let me move me over here. Move this down here. All right, today we are chatting about the Abigail Mysteries, which premiered July 30th.
Yep.
And that one also re-airs tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern on Great American Family.
Yeah.
And this one you can also stream on Pure Flix on their website or the app. Movie was directed by Brittany Goodwin, who also plays Cammy in the movie.
Yep.
It's written by Ansley Gordon,
Who
who
plays
also
Abby?
plays Abby Brooks. Yeah. Now, before you started watching this, did you realize that the writer was playing the main character?
No, when I was looking on IMDb earlier today, I realized that. I was like, "Oh, wait. The director is the antagonist and the writer is the protagonist."
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yep. Oh, let's see. Writer. Oh, stars Ansley Gordon, of course, and Bret
Yep.
Green.
Yep. They did a great job. The whole cast did.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. The synopsis says Abby Brooks is struggling to come to terms with the loss of her baby and divorce. She moves back to her hometown and gets wrapped up in a mystery surrounding the death of her eccentric neighbor. So here is our cast of characters. We got a lot of them. These mystery movies usually have a lot of characters.
Yeah.
So we have Abby Brooks. She's the true crime podcast host.
Yep.
There's Matt. He's the local policeman and childhood friend of Abby's.
Yep. Marion.
There's Marion Weston, Abby's neighbor. Theo, Miss Weston's son. And Cammy, son. And Cammy, Miss Weston's daughter-in-law, Theo's wife. Who was also the director of the film, like we mentioned.
Right. Yeah.
There's John, the local car mechanic.
Yep.
There's Penny, the librarian, who lives in the same neighborhood as Abby and Miss Weston.
Yep.
And then there's Tom, Abby's grandfather and pastor.
Yep.
Now, at first, I thought Tom was her father. I didn't realize it was her grandfather. Throughout the whole movie, I thought it was her father. And then at the end, I realized it was a grandfather.
Yeah, I figured it was her grandfather.
Yeah, because they were calling him Papa or Papa or something. Papa, yeah. And so I thought it was her father because Papa can mean father, but I guess they were referring to him as a grandfather.
A lot of people refer Papa as a grandfather, but maybe that's just me.
Okay. And then Sophie is Abby's sister.
Yeah.
And we see her in a couple scenes. So you know how this works.
Yep.
We'll chat about this scene by scene, and you just kind of talk whenever you want. Just let me know whatever's on your mind, all right?
Yep.
All right. The movie opens up, and we see Abby Brooks hosting her true crime podcast, which is titled What Happened Here Last Night, which I love that title.
Yes.
That's a good title.
That is a good title for a podcast.
Yeah, What Happened Here Last Night. Then we see her unpacking boxes and looking at a wedding photo of her and her husband. She gets disgusted. She gets a disgusted look on her face, throws the picture in a box. So right away, we know that she is not happy with her marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah. She opens up a box of souvenirs and opens up her Bible. And we get our first Bible verse here.
Yes.
The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you, from Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 8.
Yep, Deuteronomy 31:8. Yep.
Right. Now, I couldn't tell when this scene... What? Go ahead.
I said I loved that scene, that moment where she opens the Bible and sees the note from her grandfather in the Bible verse.
Yeah, no, I couldn't tell at first whether she was packing or unpacking those boxes. I wasn't sure if she was moving in or moving out. But we find out in the next scene.
Yeah.
She was moving in. I couldn't tell. But then we do find out in the next scene that she bought this house and was moving in.
Yes. I have to mention...
She goes out... Oh, go ahead. What?
Some of this dialogue in this scene was hilarious. The mention of the Halloween candy.
Oh, the Halloween candy. Oh, yeah.
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 When Abby says, your house always gave out better candy, and Miss Weston says, nobody has time for those fun-sized candy.
I know. Apparently, Miss Weston always gave out the large candy bars, I guess. Yeah. So Abby goes outside for a walk. She runs into her neighbor, Marion Weston. Miss Weston tells her it is good to have her back in the neighborhood, because apparently this is where Abby grew up. We find out that Miss Weston doesn't have any gardening gloves, and this information comes in handy a little bit later in the film. Miss Weston gives Abby the key to her house and tells her she is welcome anytime.
Yep.
Yeah, but like you said, I like what?
Which also comes in
handy. That also comes in handy. That's true. That also comes in handy later. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Next, we see Abby walking with her sister, and we find out that Abby is divorced and that her husband is getting remarried.
Yeah.
We also find out that she had a miscarriage, which is why her marriage ended. We also find out that her grandfather is the pastor at the local church, and for some reason, Abby is not interested in seeing her grandfather. I'm not sure what's going on there. We don't get a backstory, but she was dodging him throughout the first part of the movie.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. I don't know what... There must have something happened there in the past.
I have to say, I liked and enjoyed all the scenes with Abby and her sister, Sophia. I thought they were all really nice.
Yeah. Yep. Abby stops in a coffee shop, and we get a cute meet between her and Matt when Abby drinks part of his coffee, thinking that it was hers. Yeah. Matt is the policeman in town who Abby has known since she was a child. Matt says, after she takes a big swig of his coffee, Matt says, that's no big deal. It's not like we didn't share juice boxes when we were kids. Now, Nicole, what do you think about this meet cute here?
I thought it was really cute, and I thought that line was pretty funny. I also liked when they were talking about her living at the old Bancroft estate and then her being a true crime podcaster, and Matt says, basically like a grown-up spy, and Abby says the real life cop.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but this was pretty funny. She orders a coffee. She goes, and then the barista hands her a coffee. She takes a big drink up, and she
She's
says,
like,
"Oh, this isn't what I ordered." And Matt
yeah,
says, "No, that's not. That's because that's my coffee."
yeah, yeah.
Abby heads back home and stops in front of Miss Weston's house and sees her rose plant pushed over with dirt spilled all over the sidewalk. Abby doesn't think anything of it and heads home. She finds the lamp that Miss Weston told her that she would leave her on her front porch. And then Penny, the librarian, stops by Miss Weston's house, opens up the door, and finds her dead on the floor. Yes.
Boo.
Yes, and her front door was unlocked too.
Yep.
Abby hears police sirens and goes next door to investigate. She sees them carrying Miss Weston's body out of the house. And Matt tells her it was a heart attack. Abby looks down on the ground and sees a gardening glove on the sidewalk. Abby tells Matt that Miss Weston didn't have any gardening gloves. She was going to order some.
Yep.
She says Miss Weston might have been killed, but Matt's not buying it. Matt tells her to leave the investigating up to the professionals.
I love how Abby says, "I don't know what you're talking about," and Matt says, "Leave the investigation up to the professionals." Abby says, "Technically, I am a professional." And Matt's like, "You know what I mean?" And Abby says, "Do I though?" And the glove is the first clue.
The glove, yeah, the glove is one of the, yeah. Okay, so Abby does some research on Miss Weston and finds out she is the sole heir to a railway fortune worth $23 million. And that years ago, she had 2 estates built in Prescott, one of which is the house she just purchased. She gets a knock on the door and finds an invitation to a candlelight service from Miss Weston.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, I got to say on this scene, I like her super cute outfit she's wearing all throughout this movie.
Yeah.
But this scene, she's got the red tights on with the plaid skirt.
Yeah.
And this movie, because of the cute boots too. This was giving me like fall vibes, even though I think this movie was filmed in the spring. But I was getting fall vibes from this movie.
Yeah.
I think it was just because of her outfits.
That looks like something I would wear, actually.
That looked like something you would wear.
Yeah. I've had some plaid skirts before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, when I was in high school, we had uniforms, and from both schools I went to, we had plaid skirts.
Ah, yeah, had to wear the uniforms. Yeah.
One of them we had to wear a blazer with it, like with a button-down shirt.
Oh, I think she wears some blazers later on in the movie.
Yeah, she does, I think.
Yeah, she does. So Abby attends this candlelight service for Miss Weston, which is held in front of Miss Weston's house, and it is hosted by Penny. Penny introduces Theo. Theo, who's Theo? Miss Weston's son and his wife, Cammie. And Abby and her sister are confused and surprised because they didn't know Miss Weston had a son. Yeah, they're looking at each other like, son, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, during the ceremony, Abby notices that there is a black figure looking on from the distance. She tries to confront him, but he runs away. Then we see our second Bible verse on a table inside Miss Weston's house next to a lamp. It says, "Your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path." And it's from Psalm chapter 19, verse 105.
119. Psalm 119.
What's that? Chapter 119, yeah.
Yep. That's actually one of my favorite verses.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Abby and her sister then see Theo and Cammie inside the house laughing. And they are not upset at all about this candlelight service and the death of Miss Weston. So this was the point. What? Go ahead.
That right there, that was like, seems a little fishy to me.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that was the point where you begin to think that maybe these two probably aren't her son and daughter-in-law.
No, they would not be acting like that if they were.
So that's where you start thinking. Abby goes and gets the lamp Miss Weston gave her and finds a business card under it.
Yep.
She meets with Matt and tells him about the clues she found. And Matt says, these aren't clues, these are trash. This is trash.
I like how she says, one man's trash is another woman's clue.
She wants to search Miss Weston's house. He says, you just can't break into someone's house. And she says, I have a key and an invitation.
Yep.
So he says, well, what do you need me for? She says, well, it'd be nice to have someone on the outside.
Yeah.
He asks if Miss Weston was murdered, what is the motive? She says her family fortune, and she explains about her inheriting $23 million buckaroos.
Yeah.
Yes. Matt says, okay, that's a good motive. He asks Abby, then he asks Abby to go to church with him. But she makes up an excuse because, like I said before, apparently she doesn't want to see her grandfather.
Yeah. But then she shows up.
She does show up a little bit later. Yep, she does show up. Yep. So Abby has a change of heart, like you just said, Nicole, and decides to attend church. She tries to sneak out before her grandfather can see her.
But
then we meet Abby's No, he catches her. So then we meet Abby's grandfather, who is the pastor of this church.
Yeah. This is a good
She asks her grandfather about the Psalm verse, 119. Your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. She wants to know what the verse means.
Yep.
So then he quotes Psalm chapter 18, verse 28. God keeps your lamp burning. God turns darkness into light.
Yep.
He tells her these verses remind you that in darkness, seeking out the light of the Lord will guide you to your next step.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Matt sees Abby there in church and he gets all happy.
Yeah.
Gets a smile on his face.
That was a good scene between Abby and her grandfather.
Yeah. Her grandfather. Yeah. Yep. On her walk home, Abby finds Theo and Cammie arguing on Miss Weston's porch.
Yep.
Another cute outfit that Abby is wearing with she's got some white tights on and a maroon top on in this scene.
Yeah.
Theo is looking for his car keys because Cammie threw him over the side of the porch. He also says the chicken coop out back is locked and he can't find the key. Abby asks him what he does for a living, and he says he's an accountant.
In Avondale.
Oh, did he mention the name of the town, Avondale?
Yeah, because she asks like where he's from.
Oh, okay.
And then she asks what he does. And he's like, why? And then she's just like,
well, yeah, I know.
I'm just getting to know my neighbors.
I know. He got a suspicious look on his face when she asked what he did for a living. Yeah.
Yeah, it's never just getting to know your neighbors.
Abby's producer tells her that her ratings are down and gives her a story about a missing woman upstate that she wants Abby to cover. Abby tells her she would rather cover the Miss Weston murder case, and her producer gives her a week to get her facts together to see if Miss Weston was really murdered.
Yeah.
So what'd you think of Hannah here, Abby's boss?
She was just okay for me. I mean, she wasn't a terrible character, but she was just okay.
Just okay?
I mean, the lady that played Hannah did a great job, but the character in general just was okay.
Yeah. Abby and Matt. Oh, this was funny. Abby and Matt go to Miss Weston's house to look for clues. And we get another cute outfit that Abby's wearing in this scene. Theo comes home while she is inside the house. So Matt goes to the front door to distract Theo while Abby hides inside.
Yeah.
Abby finds the lamp she saw earlier, and it has a Bible verse taped underneath it. This one comes from Psalm 23:5.
Yeah.
Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies.
Yep.
Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over.
Yep.
And then while Matt is talking to Theo, Abby sneaks out the back door.
Yes.
What was the story that Matt came up with? Something about a cat, right?
Something about a stray cat. I didn't catch all.
Yeah, stray cat. Yeah. He wanted to ask Theo if he had seen the stray cat or something like that.
Yeah. That was funny.
Abby reads the Bible verse to Matt and says, we need to search Miss Weston's kitchen. Matt says, no, you need to stay out of that house.
Yeah.
Abby runs into Cammie and Theo and notices a gardening glove in the back window of their car. What is that all about?
Seems a little suspicious to me.
Later that night, Abby sees Cammie and Theo arguing again. She calls Matt, and he comes over to talk to them. Yep. And while he's talking to them, or after they drive away, Abby sneaks back into Miss Weston's house and gets into the kitchen. But she doesn't find any more clues, though. Yeah. Then we see Abby and her sister. Wait. Then we see Abby's sister, at the grade school where she teaches.
Yep.
We also see Abby in another rockin' outfit here. Yep. This one's got the green top, another skirt. I think she's got tights that match the top there.
I also have
Abby asks her, what? Go ahead.
I also have to mention Zeke. The guy Zeke.
Zeke. What
did you think?
Oh, yeah, the Zeke, the guy that was talking to her sister, right?
Yeah, Sophia.
Yeah, he was another teacher at the school, right?
Yes. Matchmaking, I could sense it from Abby already.
Oh yeah, Abby was like making eyes at her sister, like, saying, "Hey, what's up with Zeke? Why don't you? He's cute. Why don't you ask him out or something?" Yeah.
Yeah, Sophia's like, no.
Yeah, I know. But later we do find out that they do get together, right?
Yes.
Later in the movie, yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So Abby asks her sister if there is anyone that would be after Miss Weston's fortune. And her sister says, well, maybe her ex-boyfriend. And Abby's like, what? Ex-boyfriend? What ex-boyfriend? What are you talking about, Willis?
Yeah.
So now we get a new suspect, right? Now we get a new suspect, the ex-boyfriend.
Yep. We didn't know his name at the time, but.
Yes. Yeah. She goes to the library and finds out from Penny that Miss Weston was never married and that she put her son Theo up for adoption. Yeah. Abby heads home from the library and again sees the man she saw earlier trying to break into Miss Weston's house. Yeah. She calls Matt. She tells him they need to get back into that house. So he says, I'll get a search warrant and we'll search the house properly.
Yeah.
And then he invites her out to dinner. Yeah. So, throughout this entire movie, I thought the murderer was Penny right there, the librarian. That's who I thought it was.
I thought it for about 5 seconds, and then I was like,
oh, really?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I think the minute that I saw Theo and Cammie arguing at the vigil, I was like, I think they're the ones.
Okay. I thought that was just to throw us off. I thought for sure Penny was because, in these movies, it's always the person you least expect is usually the killer.
Yeah.
And so I thought for sure it was Penny because I thought that Cammie and Theo were too obvious.
Yeah. Usually it is pretty obvious. Yeah. But there weren't that many suspects in this movie.
I know. There are only pretty much 3, Cammie, Theo, and the boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much just those 3, I would think. Yeah. So I got surprised at the end.
Yeah.
They go to the ice cream shop for an everything pizza.
Mm-hmm.
A woman comes into the store to pick up a pizza, and we find out that she and Matt were engaged.
Yep.
Abby opens up to him and tells him about her divorce that occurred after she had a miscarriage because she couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
She asks Matt how he keeps his faith with all the evil he sees being a cop. And he quotes Mark chapter 9, verse 24. Lord, I believe, help me
with
my unbelief. He says it's about, oh, go ahead. What were you going to say?
This next line is one of my favorites in this movie, or favorite quotes. He says, sometimes answered prayers can take a while, and that can be challenging, but the Lord reveals himself to those who seek him.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That was a good quote.
Yeah. Yeah. He also says, yeah, exactly. He also says it's about knowing that something is true, but having a hard time truly believing it in your heart.
Yes, and that was a good quote too.
Yeah. Yeah. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He says the Bible verse, he says he uses that Bible verse to help him in his unbelief when he feels disconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like you said, the Lord reveals himself to those who seek him. Abby has her doubts, but he says God has a plan for you that's bigger than you can imagine.
Yes.
Yeah, this was a good scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was a good scene right here.
The everything pizza, that was awesome.
The everything pizza.
I don't know if we've ever talked about this. What's your favorite pizza topping, I guess?
What is my favorite pizza topping?
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta mess with my background's messing up with. Hold on, my favorite pizza topping. Let me see. Whoops.
Yeah. That's a green screen.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
All right. Oh, there we go. My favorite pizza topping. Let me think. Pizza topping. I don't know. I usually just get pepperoni on it, I guess.
I guess style of pizza. Like, do you like anything other than pepperoni? Do you like cheese, ham and pineapple?
Oh yeah, cheese with as many vegetables as they can fit on it. I like green peppers on it, olives, any kind of vegetables. Onions.
Yeah, there's a pizza place that we order from a lot, and they have an everything pizza that comes with like mushrooms, I think peppers, black olives. I can't remember what else. I think banana peppers are one of the things on it. I think pepperoni is really good. And then, of course, I love ham and pineapple. That's one of my favorites.
I was just going to ask if you like pineapple on your pizza.
Yes.
You know, I've never had pineapple on a pizza, so I don't know. I don't think I would like it, but I don't know. I can't judge until I try it.
It's really good. You should try it. And then, of course, I love pepperoni.
But just fruit on top of a pizza, I'm not sure about that. I don't know.
I understand. It is good, though. You should at least give it a try.
Let's see. Well, now the pizza they got, it was split up into different sections.
Yeah.
Like it didn't have everything all over everything. There were certain parts that had, certain slices had everything on it and other slices didn't. Yeah. We see Abby recording her podcast into her phone. Mm-hmm. She is trying to figure out what the clue in Psalm 23:5 means with the table, oil, and cup. Okay. She still thinks it means a kitchen. She tries to pray to God for help, but doesn't get very far. Then Abby gets a video call from her boss saying Miss Weston's murder case does not sound like a good story to her.
Oh.
Yeah, so her boss is killing the story.
Uh-oh, I think I'm frozen.
No, you're not. You're moving. You're moving on my end.
Oh, it's not moving for me, but that's okay.
Oh, you're moving on my end. All right. Abby heads to the mechanic shop where Miss Weston's ex works. She finds the guy, but he orders her to get out of his shop. He won't talk to her at all. Whoops, what happened? Oh, now you're back.
No, I'm unfrozen.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so this guy was really rude to her.
Yeah.
And
really
it's
defensive.
funny. He's rude to her, but look, if you look behind him on the wall, there's a cross on the wall.
I noticed that right away.
So he must be a religious guy, but yet he was really rude to her. Wouldn't talk to her at all.
Yeah, really defensive.
Yeah. Abby gets a call from the county clerk's office and finds out that Miss Weston owned Abby's house before she bought it.
Yep, she was the only other owner of the house.
Yes. Abby thinks since Miss Weston owned her house, the clue she is looking for might be in her kitchen.
Yeah.
Not in Miss Weston's kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, something that didn't make sense. The one thing that didn't make sense about this movie is this one scene right here.
Yeah.
Because when you buy a house, you always know who you're buying the house from. It's in the paperwork.
Yeah.
The owner is right on the paperwork.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to believe that she would not know that Miss Weston owned the house that she was buying, you know?
I knew that already, but when watching this movie, it just didn't cross my mind. But yeah.
It didn't cross your mind? Yeah.
But yes, I knew that
that was the one part of this movie that you kind of have to overlook. Yeah. She and Matt go tear her kitchen apart.
Yeah.
Matt finds a piece of paper that Abby ripped off of Theo's keys and tells her it is from a medical conference. So he and Abby wonder why an accountant would be going to a medical conference.
This right here, I think this sealed the deal that Theo was the one for me.
That sealed the deal for you?
Yeah, that Theo was
the
suspect or the person that did it.
Oh, okay.
Because, at the beginning, we hear from Matt that she apparently had a heart attack. And seems a little fishy if an accountant is going to a medical conference. You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh yeah. I see what you mean. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I still didn't catch it. I still thought it was Penny, even after this. I thought that librarian, she looked sneaky to me.
Like, no, why would she be helping Abby if she was like leading Abby to find out she was?
Yeah, I didn't know what her motive was. I couldn't figure out her motive. But anyway, Abby prays to God and thanks God for taking care of her grandfather and her sister.
Yeah,
so that was a nice scene there.
Yeah, that was. That was another favorite moment.
Abby meets with her grandfather in his church and wants to know what the verse means that Miss Weston left for her.
Another favorite moment.
Her grandfather tells her it means that God is watching over you and protecting you and providing for you. He tells her that change is scary, but that doesn't mean it's not good. He then gets a call from her ex-husband looking for his grandfather's cufflinks.
Yes.
Because he wants to wear them to his wedding.
Yes.
He's going to have. Yeah. Yeah, like you said, this was a good scene here.
Yeah.
Abby goes home and finds a note under her welcome mat that says,
Stay away from
that house. Ooh, who did you think left that note?
I figured it was Theo.
Oh, you thought it was Theo? I thought it was the mechanic. I thought it was the mechanic.
Or it could have been the mechanic too. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
We never really get it. We never get an answer of who left the note. Yeah, we never find out.
Yeah.
She finds her ex-husband's grandfather's cufflinks and goes to text him, but then stops herself when she realizes she should not be reaching out to him. Got to cut that tie, right? That's right. Abby meets Matt. He tells her Miss Weston's ex-boyfriend has a rap sheet and is a bad dude. He convinces Abby to go to church with him. So when they're in church, Abby's looking around inside the church and she sees a painting of the Last Supper on the wall and realizes that Bible verse clue, the cup, the oil, and table, is referring to Miss Weston's Last Supper. Yeah. That's Abby. She's a smart one. She's a smart woman. Matt figures out Miss Weston's last supper was at a soup kitchen. So they go to the soup kitchen, and the woman there gives Abby a wooden box that Miss Weston left there for her. And under the box is another Bible verse, Proverbs 22:5. Let's see. Thorns and snares are in the way of the crooked. Whoever guards his soul will keep far from them. Yes. So we get another good verse there.
Yeah, that's a good verse too.
Yeah. Now this next scene. Oh, we got to talk about this next scene.
Yes.
When Matt and Abby are leaving the soup kitchen, they run into a woman who looks an awful lot like Miss Weston.
I thought that right away.
Nicole, what did you think was happening in this scene?
Okay, at first, I'm not going to lie, I thought that this person was going to turn out to be a suspect, but then that kind of quickly diminished.
Oh, really? You thought we were as a new
Yeah,
suspect.
just because it's the way she was closing the door and looking at Abby, it looked kind of fishy to me for like a split second, but then I figured that probably not.
Well, when you saw her, didn't you say immediately, wait a minute, that's Miss Weston?
I thought it was, yeah.
Because that's what I thought. As soon as I saw it, I like, wait a minute, what's going on here? I was completely confused by this scene. Because I thought, wait, is she still alive? What's going on?
Actually, I don't know. I take that back. Like, part of me was like wondering if it was going to be another suspect, and then the other half of me was like, wait, that looks like Miss Weston.
Yeah, and then I thought, well, if that's Miss Weston, how come they didn't recognize her?
Yeah,
they both looked right at her.
Well,
so I was completely confused by this scene. I was scratching my head.
Yeah.
During the next few scenes, I didn't know what was going on. Abby gets another call from her boss, Hannah, who tells her to drop the Miss Weston story and work on that other story that she gave her to work on. Yeah.
And then she terminates her contract.
Yeah, Hannah says they are going to take the show in a different direction, and they are getting rid of Abby. They're going to fire her. She's out the door. What the heck? Abby prays to God again, telling him she feels lost. She tells God that she wants a relationship with him like Matt and her grandfather has, and she asks help for her unbelief. Yes. That was a kind of a sad scene, that she feels lost and needs help with her belief in God. Yeah. Oh, so she looks out her window and sees the mechanic messing with Miss Weston's rose plants again. Abby calls Matt, and he goes over to Miss Weston's house, stops the mechanic, and the mechanic tells him Miss Weston became very cryptic near the end, and he was trying to find out what happened to her. Abby then dumps Miss Weston's rose plants all over the porch, trying to find a clue, and Theo drives up and catches her. Theo calls the police, and Matt gets put on desk duty. You're off the case, Matt. Yep.
Boo.
Abby goes to her grandfather for help. Since she lost her job and Matt won't return her phone calls, she tells him she feels lost.
Yeah.
He asks her, when was the last time you prayed? She says every time she tries, she feels ridiculous. He tells her, the Lord will always be with you. Do not be afraid and do not be discouraged.
That was a nice moment.
Abby, okay. What's that?
I said that was a nice moment, and this one too, right here.
Oh, that one talking to her father? Yeah, but this is the big moment of the big scene of the movie right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so Abby goes into the sanctuary of the church while it is empty and begins to pray. The woman that she and Matt saw earlier at the soup kitchen, when they were leaving the soup kitchen, interrupts her and sits down next to her.
Yep.
The woman looks like a younger version of Miss Weston with a different hairdo.
Yeah.
She asks Abby if she is familiar with Deuteronomy chapter 31, verses 8 and 9. Which says, the Lord himself goes before you, and he will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid and do not be discouraged.
Yes, that's another favorite verse of mine.
Yeah. The woman can tell that there is something on Abby's heart, She says the Lord is trying to tell you something and guide you in the right direction.
Yes.
What?
This scene had one of my favorite lines from the movie, and she says, there's a vast, no, not vast. She just says, there's a difference in our lives when we're following our own self versus following the guidance of the Lord.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, that is a good line. Yes. While Abby is having a conversation with this woman, the woman disappears. Oh.
Look who just entered the chat. Dara.
Disappears. What?
Dara,
Hey, Dara's here. Hey, Chad and Nicole. Hey, Dara. Nice to have you here. Okay, this woman disappears. And then we realize that this woman must be some sort of heavenly figure.
She was touched by an angel. I had to.
That's right. That's right. So we realize this woman must be some sort of an angel.
Yes.
And that is why Abby does not recognize her as being Miss Weston.
Yes.
Yeah. And Abby finds another Bible verse sitting in the pew where this woman was sitting.
Matthew
6:14.
For if you forgive
others, go ahead, you can read it.
For if you forgive others when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you.
Yes. Yes. And that, after reading that, Abby realizes that God is referring to her ex-husband Ross and how she should forgive him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Nicole, the reason I wanted to have you on this episode and chat about this movie with me is because of this scene right here. Because this scene reminds me so much of the Signed, Sealed, Delivered Christmas movie when Oliver is in the hospital chapel and she realizes that Jordan is an angel. The guy he's talking to is an angel.
That's immediately what I thought of when I watched this scene.
That's exactly. As soon as I saw this scene, I immediately thought of that scene and I thought of you and I said, Nicole's the Signed, Sealed, Delivered expert. I have to have her on this for this episode.
I have a comment, kind of.
What?
Well, I'll save it till the end when we're done. But
Dara says, yes, the SSD connection. I know.
Yes. I have another one that I'll share at the end. But that was a great scene. Yeah, I'll share it at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. So this scene reminded me so much of that SSD Christmas movie, which is my favorite SSD movie. I love that movie.
It's one of my favorites too. And that's why I brought up the Touched by an Angel.
Yeah. I love movies that have angels in them. So these two movies really hit the spot for me.
And since I just started watching Touched by an Angel.
That's right. You started watching that show.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. So Abby meets with Ross and they make their peace with each other. She gives him the cufflinks. Mm-hmm. And then we see Matt walking through town and he sees Theo on the phone arguing with someone. Yeah, he's arguing with somebody.
This moment with Ross and Abby, I thought was a nice moment. I love how they ended things in a civil way. Like they still care about one another and want each other to be happy. I thought that was sweet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they were making their peace.
Yeah, because you don't see that every
day. Usually ex-spouses are mad at each other and argue for the rest of their lives, but or completely lose connection with each other and don't even talk to each other, All right. That was okay. Yep. So Abby goes to the library and asks Penny, still my main suspect, if she knows where this business card came from that she has. She says it is from a law firm run by Rebecca Gardner.
Yep.
And she says Rebecca is a terrible woman who scammed her cousin out of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Abby tries to look up Rebecca on the internet, but finds nothing on her.
Was taken down.
Okay. Yeah. So now it was at this point in the movie when the light bulb went off in my head. Like I said, I was suspecting Penny throughout this entire movie. But then as soon as she brought up this law firm and run by Rebecca Gardner, I thought, oh my gosh.
It's Rebecca Gardner.
Cammy is Rebecca.
Rebecca Gardner.
So that's when I finally realized.
Yeah, like, why would Penny be leading Abby to this information if she was the one that did it.
Yeah, that's when I finally realized what was going on here. Now, did you realize when you saw this scene that Cammie was Rebecca?
Yes, I knew right away. And then did you notice how I think it was when Abby was looking on the, like, social media, and then right before it goes to the next scene, it zooms in on someone with a necklace.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then that's, like,
Yeah.
actually the outfit that Cammie
Yeah.
ends up
She's
wearing.
wearing, Cammie's wearing that heart necklace. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But apparently there must not have been a picture of her face, just a picture of that
Yeah, it was
necklace.
just, like,
Yeah.
zoomed in, like, from
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I noticed that. Yep.
With emphasis on the necklace.
Mm-hmm. Next, we see Abby, her grandfather, and her sister going through some donations at the church.
Mhm.
And Abby finds a box with Miss Weston's initials on it.
Mhm.
She opens it up and finds a key inside, and she realizes it is the key to the chicken coop.
Yeah.
Yep. So now Abby can have eggs for the rest of her life. Doesn't need to buy them at the store. She runs to Miss Weston's house, and Theo knocks her out. Ouch! That's going to leave a mark.
Yep.
Yeah. So now at this point we know, we know
Theo.
that Theo's in on it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Theo ties up Abby in a chair and puts a gag over her mouth. Matt is at the coffee shop, even though he is supposed to be on desk duty.
Yeah.
He gets a voicemail from Abby saying she is going to Miss Weston's house.
Yeah.
Theo wants to know where Miss Weston's will is. He says he found a note in the chicken coop that was left there for Abby.
Mhm.
Abby wants to know where Cammie is because she's thinking that Theo is the killer and that Cammie's life is in trouble. Theo says she might let you live if you tell me where the will is. So now, that's when we find out that Cammie is the killer.
Yep.
Because of what what Theo said, not Leo, Theo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saying that she might let you live. Yeah. So then Rebecca / Cammie puts a knife to Abby's throat and asks her where the will is.
Mm-hmm.
Matt breaks through the door and saves the day.
Yep.
Theo then tells Matt and Abby that he is not Theo, and when he and Rebecca are getting arrested, he tells Matt that. Yeah, so this is the scene where it all came out. All right, then we get a wrap up. In this wrap up, while Abby and Matt are recording a podcast episode, we find out that Miss Weston found her real son, and they began corresponding by letters. But Miss Weston noticed that one day the handwriting on the letters began to change. Miss Weston was also working with Rebecca, who was her attorney, but found discrepancies in what she was doing.
Yes.
Yeah, so she realizes that Rebecca was stealing money from her.
Yes.
So she had Rebecca's firm investigated and shut down.
Yes. Now, this isn't the one I was referring to, the connection I'm going to talk about, but also the letter thing. That's another connection.
Oh, another signed, sealed, delivered connection. Okay, all the letters. Yes. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Rebecca found out Miss Weston had a son and where he was. So she begins intercepting the letters that that Miss Weston was sending to him, and then hired a doctor to pretend to be Theo in order to help kill Miss Weston and steal the fortune that Miss Weston left for her son. Miss Weston shared what was going on with her ex-boyfriend, and he was trying to help her. Although, when that ex-boyfriend, when Matt and Abby was talking to him, he never told her, when he was caught outside her house, he never told her what was going on, about that she had a son and was writing letters to the son and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He left out some important information there. Abby realizes Miss Weston hid the will and the whereabouts of her fortune and the identity of her son inside the house that Abby just purchased. So they find that on the bookshelf. Miss Weston's real son, Theo, arrives. Hannah, Abby's former boss, calls and says she read an article about Miss Weston's case, realizes she was wrong about firing Abby, and wants to hire her back. But Abby says, only if I get my own show. She tells Hannah she wants to do a show about faith and how it leads people to do incredible things.
Yeah.
Hannah loves the idea and wants Matt to be a recurring guest. And then Abby runs and plants a big one right on Matt. Surprise! We get a kiss in this movie, which I was not expecting.
I was not either, but I thought it was a nice moment to end the movie.
Yeah, I was not expecting a kiss between those two, but yeah. And then next we get a really good scene here. The movie ends with Abby in the sanctuary of her grandfather's church with Miss Weston's angel standing behind her.
Yeah.
Abby turns around and finds a note on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
It's another Bible verse, Psalm 9 or chapter 9, verse 10. Those who know your name put their trust in you. For you, O Lord, have not forsaken those who seek you.
Yes.
Yeah. Abby thanks the Lord for all his guidance and says, keep it up, please. I'm going to need it. Now, I like how this movie did not end with a kiss. You know, a lot in those, romantic movies, they usually, as soon as the leads kiss, that's the end of the movie. So I love how this movie didn't end with a kiss. I love this scene here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that we got another scene after the kiss, and I love this scene.
Yes, that last line, I'm going to need it. That is totally set up for more.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, in my opinion, at least. I think there could be more.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, now, Nicole, let me hear your take on this movie. What did you think of it?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a strong first mystery movie for Great American Family. I would give it, let's see, I would probably give it 9 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
Magnifying glasses.
9 out of 10 magnifying glasses.
Even though there were no magnifying glasses in this movie.
Yeah, I'm right up there with you. I really like this movie. Yeah. Now, what did you think about the mystery?
The mystery itself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. I mean,
like the murder and the clues and trying to solve the mystery, you know.
Yes, I love how they solved the mysteries. Like, I love how the clues were Bible verses.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the clues were Bible verses.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Except for, maybe 1 or 2 things like the gardening glove and I feel like there was something else, but it's not coming to me right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Now, we talked about the suspects before. What do you think about the suspects? You think there should have been more? You think they were good? What?
I think 2, well, I probably should say 3. I think 3 was enough for a movie like this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, if it was a longer movie, like a feature film, I'd say maybe add, I don't know, 2 more, maybe like 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the suspects were good too. And the suspects threw me off the case because, like I said, I thought it was Penny the whole time right till the end when I realized it was the obvious suspects, Cammy and Theo, and I'm like, so that surprised me. I'm like, oh, they did it. They did a twist because usually these movies don't go with the obvious person. Yeah. So I was surprised by that.
Yeah.
Now, what did you think about the chemistry between Abby and Matt?
I thought they had good chemistry. I'd like to see them work together again. I'd really like to see another one of these mysteries in the future.
Yeah, I thought they had good chemistry, and I actually believe that they were childhood friends.
Yeah.
They really played that off really well, like they've known each other their entire life.
I think it would be cool if each mystery, like if they continued with any future movies they have, if they continued with like having Bible verses being the clues, because there's tons to go off of. I think that would be a great concept for a mystery movie.
Yeah.
Which leads me.
What? Go ahead.
Well, I guess it's a connection. I love I love how I'm trying to figure out how to say it. I think it's cool how this is, like, one of the only mystery type series, besides SSD that includes, like, scripture. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Mm-hmm.
one of the very
Yeah.
few that includes scripture.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because not a
Yeah.
lot of these mystery movies include that. I mean, that's not to say that they're not
This
good,
is
but
this is the first one I've ever seen that included scriptures in it.
yes, besides SSD, yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I love this movie so much.
Yeah.
Is because it was different, it was unique, and it was different. It was unlike any other mystery movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. The other reason I love this movie is because I love movies and TV shows that
Yes.
have heavenly beings in them.
Yes.
So, like you mentioned before, I love Touched by an Angel that you
Mhm.
mentioned before. I
Yes.
love the show Highway to Heaven.
I've never seen that, but I've heard it's
You've
good.
never seen that one? Yeah, Michael Landon plays an
Yep,
angel in that one.
I know Michael Landon's in that.
And the Mrs. Miracle Christmas movies, I
Yes.
love those.
Yep.
Yep. So I love all that stuff, and even the show Ghost Whisperer that I love because she's helping spirits cross over that are stuck
I don't think I've seen
between.
that.
I've never seen that one. She helps spirits cross over after they've died, cross over into heaven.
I'll have
I love.
see if I can find that.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's a good show. So I love all those movies and shows like that. So that's one reason why I love this movie so much.
I'll have to watch Highway to Heaven too because I've heard that's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good.
I know
that's
Michael
good.
Landon's
It's
in
kind
it,
of like Touched by an Angel. It's kind of like Touched by an Angel.
Yeah. And I know that I think the guy that plays Mr. or played Mr. Edwards in Little House on the Prairie was also in Highway to Heaven.
Yeah. You're right. Yep. So throughout this entire movie, I was liking the movie throughout the entire movie. But then when Miss Weston's spirit/angel appeared, I liked the movie even more. That church scene when she disappeared, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's an angel. I'm loving this movie because I was confused what she was earlier in the movie. I was scratching my head, and then when she disappeared, I was like, oh, that's what's going on.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
So I love the faith in this movie. I love the talk about God. All the talk about God. I loved all the Bible quotes. I love the church scenes. I liked Abby praying to God, asking for help and guidance. I think we need more of that in movies.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely, because it feels like today's society, people have forgotten all about God, and so I think we need. It's important to put this kind of stuff into movies and TV shows to remind people that God exists and He's there for us.
Yeah, I agree.
Now you talked about this being a series. You think this will get picked up?
I hope it does. Now I don't know for sure, but I would love for it to.
Yeah. Now Ansley, the writer, she's hoping it gets picked up for a series. She wants it to be a series.
Yes.
Yeah. So she would love to do more.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah. Now the only what?
I guess it all depends on when this stupid actors and writer strike is going to end.
Yeah. That's true. That's part of the problem too.
Yeah.
But the only problem about it being a series, this is the only problem is she quit the she no longer is doing the true crime podcast.
Oh, that's
right. Her podcast, because she wanted to start a new podcast about faith and how it leads people to do incredible things. So I'm not sure how they can tie that into solving crimes,
Yeah.
But I'm sure they can figure out some way. But that was the only thing I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they can figure out a nice way to continue it. I mean, they could, I don't know, maybe they could rebrand it. I don't know. Kind of like what they did with Hannah Swenson. I like same mystery series, but okay.
Now this movie re-airs tonight at 6:00 Eastern on Great American Family. For those who missed it the first time, and you can also stream it anytime you want on Pure Flix. Now, speaking of angels, hold on. Let me get this. I think the picture's gonna be. Oh, did it again. Every time I go to share a picture, the picture always gets messed up. So let me move it around here again. Okay, so speaking of angels, this Saturday, the 12th, we have a movie premiering called An Unlikely Angel, which is one I'm looking forward to because, like I said, I love movies with angels in them.
I think that'll be good.
Yeah, the synopsis says Janie is a power player in the boardroom, but is falling apart at the thought of becoming a mom.
Mm-hmm.
A silent prayer is answered when an angel intervenes and fast forwards her life. So it's one of those movies where she sees the future. Yeah. Can Janie learn to trust God and find her new purpose?
I think it'll be good.
Yeah, I think it will be good. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that one. And then also on Monday, the 14th, Wedding Cake Dreams is premiering. And this one sounds like a fun one. It says, as a young girl, Carrie Watson places a piece of wedding cake under her pillow. Then that would make a mess.
Yeah.
When her mother tells her about the tradition that doing so will make you dream about your future love.
Okay.
What?
Hearing that just reminds me of something. Does that not remind you of A Kismet Christmas with Carlo Marx and Sarah Ramos?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yep. Yeah, you're right.
The
Kismet
it does. Cookie.
Yeah. Yep.
Because that's like the same concept. Now, I mean, I'm not saying that this movie isn't going to be good. I'm sure it will. It just reminded me of that.
Yeah. So this movie fast forwards 2 decades, and Carrie is shocked to discover the man of her dreams at her sister's wedding. So the man that she dreamed of shows up at her sister's wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think both of those two will be fun.
Yes.
So, Nicole.
Yes.
I got to thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me. It's always fun chatting with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, let's see. Was there anything good coming up on your podcast you can talk about?
Well, I'm currently reviewing When Calls the Heart with my friend and guest co-host Teresa from the Hardy Observer. If any of you watch the show, so check that out. And I have a review of Corey Cott and Holland Roden's new movie Making Waves coming out soon as well with a special guest. I think you know her, Chad, but I'm going to leave that as a surprise to our listeners.
Okay.
Or to your listeners. To your listeners.
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. Well, yeah, this is always fun chatting with you. Tell people your social media handle so they can follow you.
Of course. You can follow the podcast on Instagram at Swing My Heart Podcast. And on Twitter, if you have Twitter, Swing My Heart Pod.
And also YouTube.
Oh, YouTube, yes. YouTube, it's just Swing My Heart Podcast.
And did you mention Facebook? You're also on Facebook too, aren't you?
Yes. I think it's the same there. Just Swing My Heart Podcast.
Same there.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, thank you for having me on, Chad. This is always fun.
Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome here anytime.
Thank you.
And my social media handles, of course, are at GAC TV Podcast and at Chad Maurice. Until next time, you keep the faith, keep smiling, keep your friends close, and keep your great American family closer.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.